A business is nothing without its customers. We know they're not always right, but you simply have to keep them happy. Your ability to deal with customer queries efficiently and quickly are the most basic requirements of customer service. But how simple is it to achieve this in the average current system? Let's take a look at a typical query and see how it works.
An experienced member of staff is contacted by a customer with a query regarding an invoice. The invoice relates to a project with different departments collaborating on it, and the chances are that there will be an extended supply chain involved. So, to begin with, our member of staff has to access the latest details from the finance system to find the invoice being queried. From there, he will most probably have to access a CRM system in order to ascertain the details and terms and conditions of any contract the customer holds. If he doesn't have access to the CRM system, he will have to request the details from an appropriate member of staff and wait until they are supplied. There's plenty for him to do while he's waiting for those details though. He will be looking through the emails from the customer to search for any clues or informal agreements that may have been set in place over the life of the project. It may also be an idea for him to speak to his colleagues in other departments to see if they have agreed any special terms on the project or if they have any information that could help. Any time that has been used on the project should be stated on a timesheet. But of course, these will have required customer signatures and will be stored and filed as hard copies. Perhaps they were scanned and stored in a folder on the network, so he can have a look for them while he's still waiting. And while he's waiting for the answer, so is the customer. But he can't think about that right now. Still plenty to do to get to the bottom of this. He needs the latest version of the project plan to see exactly what was due to be done and when. There's still supplier contact details to be found and conversations to be had to clarify what they provided. A response can finally be drafted to his ever-patient customer. Possibly a few versions of this response are drafted before getting the final approval to send. He'll more than likely keep that approval information in his inbox just in case, and then finally get back to the waiting and now aging customer. You get the idea. The majority of office workers spend the majority of their time dealing with information from multiple sources in every task they perform every day.
A customer query is just one example of how information mismanagement has a negative impact on businesses every day. Your company's processes are much slower than they can be, as the previous film has shown, and there is a greater risk of costly mistakes being made. Time and time again, work is carried out with old or incorrect information that leads to time wasted on unnecessary duplication of tasks. More importantly, if the up-to-date and correct documents or specifications are not available to everyone concerned at all times, money is easily misspent and wasted. There is also the danger of data loss, with information integral to success stored in a number of different locations, depending on specific users or perhaps specific hardware. There is no guarantee that this data is safe. For sales teams, a lack of information management can have a major effect on performance. Without up-to-date knowledge of customers and suppliers, customer service will inevitably suffer. Your customers may soon choose to do business with people who show a clear and fast understanding of their company. Perhaps the biggest problem here, though, is the one faced by management. Without an effective information system in place, they are denied a complete picture of their business. This often leads to decisions being made based on incomplete or out-of-date information. At this point, we are left with quite an interesting question. If this problem is based around information and technology, then why don't information technology companies know how to address the situation?